The dense jungle stirred with early morning whispers, the delicate dance of leaves brushing against one another in a soft, almost secretive murmur. Pale light filtered through the thick canopy, casting long shadows over the hidden village nestled deep within this ancient wilderness. The air was heavy with moisture and the faint scent of earth and greenery. Somewhere in the distance, the haunting calls of massive creatures echoed, reminders that this was a land ruled not by humans but by giants, dinosaurs that roamed with silent menace beyond the village's fragile borders. Within this quiet stillness, a tension simmered beneath the surface. Today was not like the others. A ripple of unease had passed through the tribe at dawn. Torin, the village's shield-bearer, stood at the edge of the settlement, his eyes scanning the dense underbrush and far-off hills. His hands gripped the familiar curves of his ancient shield, its worn surface telling stories of countless battles fought and survived. Though the dawn painted the world in soft hues, his gaze was sharp, his senses alert to the slightest disturbance. The jungle had a language, and Torin was fluent. Every broken twig, every crushed leaf spoke to him of approaching danger. For those listening now, I invite you to pause a moment. If you haven't already, please subscribe to journey deeper with us into this world lost to time. Share where you are watching from in the comments below. Are you near a forest, a city, or somewhere far from nature? And imagine for a moment, would you dare live in an age where dinosaurs roam freely, a time when survival demands courage, skill, and unity? If the thought intrigues you, stay close, for this story will carry you to those ancient days, wrapped in shadow and flame. Back within the village, the inhabitants stirred with a quiet urgency. Torin's presence commanded respect. He was the tribe's shield, their bulwark against the wild that threatened their existence. Around him, the other guardians readied their weapons and checked their traps. The rhythmic pounding of distant footsteps, low and heavy, had begun to vibrate through the soil. It was the unmistakable stampede of a dinosaur herd, moving fast and in great numbers, driven by some unseen force or instinct. Torin's mind raced through strategies passed down by generations. This was no ordinary threat. It was a flood of immense power and chaos, capable of wiping away their home in moments. The village elders whispered of times long before, when such storms of life swept across the land, reshaping everything in their path. Now, it was their turn to stand firm or be lost beneath the feet of giants. Beyond the defensive walls, Kale, the tribe's silent tracker, disappeared into the foliage. His steps were light, his breath steady. His task was to trace the source and direction of the approaching herd, using skills honed through years of patient observation. Every broken branch, every flattened patch of grass, was a clue in the puzzle of survival. Kale's eyes flickered with a sharp intelligence, reading the land as if it were an open book. He knew that understanding the movements of these colossal beasts was the only way to prepare the tribe for what was coming. Meanwhile, Lyra moved among the fire pits scattered through the village, tending the sacred flames with a reverence that bordered on ritual. Her hands, steady despite the growing tension, coaxed the fire higher, sending sparks into the morning air. The flickering light was more than warmth or comfort. It was protection. The creatures lurking in the shadows feared fire, and it was the tribe's first line of defense against the creeping dangers that prowled after dusk. Lyra's knowledge of fire was ancient, passed down in whispered chants and secret songs. Tonight, her flame would have to burn brighter than ever. Nearby, Naira prepared her baskets of herbs and salves, gathering the healing roots that would soothe wounds and calm frightened hearts. Her touch was gentle, but her resolve strong. In this jungle, injuries were as common as the morning mist, and the difference between life and death often came down to the knowledge she carried in her hands. Naira's quiet presence was a balm to the tribe, her calm voice weaving stories of resilience as she worked to ease pain and fear alike. At the village's center, beneath the sprawling limbs of an ancient tree, Eirik sat in meditation. His eyes were closed, his breathing deep and steady. Visions came to him in the stillness, whispers of the future, echoes of the dangers drawing near. He spoke softly to the spirits of the forest, seeking guidance to protect his people. His role as the dream seer was one of the tribe's most precious gifts, bridging the world of the seen and unseen. The warnings he received tonight weighed heavily on his heart, but they also strengthened his determination. As the sun climbed higher, the village buzzed with quiet preparation. Families secured their shelters, warriors sharpened their spears, and children clung close to the stories of survival told by their elders. The jungle's roar grew louder. The first wave of the dinosaur herd was near, a flood of flesh and bone that could either destroy or be held back. Torin gathered the tribe's warriors beneath the ancient tree, his voice low but commanding. "We stand not just to protect these walls, but to defend our lives, our stories, and our future. The spirits of the forest watch over us, and this shield will not fall while I breathe." His words were met with fierce nods and silent vows. In this moment, the hidden survivors braced for the coming storm. The jungle held its breath, the air charged with the promise of battle and the hope of survival. For in this ancient world, where dinosaurs ruled with primal power, the strength of the tribe lay not just in weapons, but in courage, wisdom, and the unbreakable bonds between them. The dense foliage concealed Kale as he moved with a ghost's grace through the jungle's tangled depths. Each step was deliberate, silent, a dance with shadows and light that only a tracker born of the forest could perform. His eyes scanned the ground, searching for the faintest trace of disturbance, a broken twig or pressed leaf that whispered secrets about the beasts ahead. The thick air was heavy with the scent of earth and decay, yet mingled with something primal, the musk of immense creatures pushing their way through the greenery. Kale's mind was a web of experience and instinct. He understood that the survival of the hidden survivors depended not just on strength, but on knowing the movements of these prehistoric titans. The vast dinosaur herd approaching threatened more than their borders. It threatened the very heart of their existence. His task was clear: find their path, uncover their weaknesses, and bring back knowledge that could save his people. Ahead, the jungle shifted. A massive branch snapped under immense weight. Kale froze, muscles taut like a coiled spring, every sense heightening. The deep, rhythmic pounding of heavy feet vibrated through the ground. In the distance, a great shadow moved, blotting out the light like a living mountain. His heart hammered in his chest, but his breathing remained steady, controlled. This was no time for fear. The tracker's path was one of patience and calculation. He traced the prints left behind, huge, oval impressions pressed deep into the mud. The earth spoke its tale. These creatures traveled as a group, vast in number, restless and driven by a hunger that could not be sated by mere plants. Their movement patterns suggested a migration, but something had disrupted their course, sending them dangerously close to the village. Kale's journey through the jungle was a battle against time. Each step took him closer to the truth, but also deeper into peril. The canopy above grew thicker, the underbrush tangled, and the cries of distant creatures echoed warnings. His sharp gaze caught glimpses of scaly tails flicking through ferns and the thunderous crash of trees uprooted by giant feet. The jungle was alive with the presence of beasts far beyond the tribe's usual encounters. As he pushed forward, memories surfaced, lessons from elders, tales of survival etched into his mind since childhood. Stories of ancient hunters who moved like the wind, blending into their surroundings, becoming one with the wild. Kale embodied this legacy, a silent guardian threading through the green labyrinth, mapping the dangerous giant's path with unerring accuracy. Back in the village, whispers of worry grew louder. Lyra's sacred flames flickered nervously, casting uneasy shadows on stone and wood. Nyra's herbal preparations sat untouched, a silent prayer for healing should the worst come. Torin's warriors tightened their grips on weapons carved from bone and stone, their faces set with grim determination. And Irik's eyes, normally closed in quiet meditation, remained open and watchful, reading the forest's secrets through visions unspoken. Kale's progress was not without danger. The jungle harbored predators more stealthy and swift than the lumbering giants he tracked. Snakes coiled in hidden nests, sharp-eyed raptors darted through branches, and unseen insects whispered threats on the wind. Each moment demanded vigilance. The line between hunter and hunted blurred in the dense green, where one misstep could mean death. Hours passed like moments as Kale followed the trail, his movements blending with the shadows. He found signs of a disturbance, broken nests, trampled plants, and the eerie silence where smaller creatures had fled. It was a path of destruction, evidence that the herd was more than a natural wander. It was a force tearing through the jungle, driven by desperation or fear. Then, a sudden noise, a deep, guttural roar that shook the very air. Kale froze, the hair on his arms rising. Somewhere close, a massive carnivore moved with predatory intent, perhaps stalking the herd or drawn by their chaos. The hunter's pulse quickened, but his focus did not waver. This was a land of endless threats, and to survive, one had to embrace the danger as part of the journey. Kale carefully marked his route with discreet scratches on bark, subtle signs for the tribe to follow when the time came. His mind calculated possibilities. Could the herd be lured away? Was there a way to turn their force into a shield against greater dangers? Every piece of information was a key to survival, every detail a potential weapon against extinction. As the sun edged toward its peak, Kale finally reached a vantage point overlooking a wide valley. Below, the enormous dinosaurs moved in a rolling sea of flesh and scale, their thunderous march echoing like a storm on the horizon. Some grazed calmly, while others looked restless, heads turning toward the dense forest. Kale understood the weight of what he had witnessed. This was not just a natural event, it was a trial, a test of the tribe's will and strength. Turning back, he retraced his steps with renewed purpose. Each stride carried the urgency of a messenger bearing news that could mean life or death. The jungle seemed to lean in closer, as if sensing his mission, while distant calls of unseen beasts reminded him that his task was far from over. Arriving at the village's edge, Kale's presence was met with a mix of relief and anticipation. Eyes turned toward him, awaiting the wisdom he brought. Without words, he began to share his findings, the path of the herd, the looming threat, and the need for unity. The tribe listened intently, understanding that their fate hung in balance and that every skill, every voice, must join in defense. The quiet strength of the tracker, the sacred fire's flickering light, the shield's steady protection, the healer's gentle touch, and the dreamer's visions, all threads woven together in the fragile tapestry of survival. Kale's pursuit was only the beginning of the tribe's struggle against the overwhelming power of the dinosaurs. Together, they faced a dawn shadowed by giants, where courage and wisdom would decide their destiny. The chill that crept through the dense forest carried a warning unlike any the hidden survivors had faced before. The air grew heavier as dusk settled, and the once gentle rustling of leaves transformed into unsettling whispers. Within the village, the sacred fire flickered, its warm glow wavering against the encroaching darkness. The flame, a symbol of life and protection, had begun to fade, a sign that danger was near, and only the fire's resurgence could hold back the night's terrors. Lyra, the tribe's keeper of the flame, knelt beside the dying embers. Her fingers traced the cracked stones forming the hearth, her breath steady despite the rising urgency. The fire was more than warmth. It was a bond between the tribe and the spirits of the jungle, a force woven from ancient chants and rituals passed down through countless generations. Tonight, her role demanded more than tending. It required awakening the deep power hidden within the fire's heart. Outside, shadows shifted unervingly. Dinosaurs, drawn by the cold and the tribe's vulnerability, stirred in the undergrowth. Their massive forms moved with a predator's patience, sensing the tribe's weakening defenses. The glowing eyes of prowling creatures pierced through the darkness, hungry and relentless. The night itself seemed to hold its breath, waiting for Lyra's flame to roar back to life or flicker out, sealing the village's fate. Rising, Lyra gathered kindling, dry leaves, twigs, and the resinous sap from ancient trees known to burn bright and fierce. Her hands moved with practiced grace, each motion a silent prayer to the unseen forces guarding the hidden survivors. She whispered sacred words in a tongue older than the forest, her voice a soft melody that intertwined with the crackling fire. The flames responded, sparking and dancing like living spirits eager to awaken. The warmth spread, a pulse that traveled through the village, easing the tension that gripped every heart. Children huddled closer to their mothers, elders breathed easier, and warriors straightened, their faces illuminated by the growing blaze. Lyra's flame was not merely fire. It was a shield against despair and death, a promise that the tribe's light would not be extinguished. But rekindling the flame was only the beginning. Lyra knew the cold was a harbinger of something darker. The dinosaurs were restless, their usual grazing disrupted by an unseen force. The herd threatened to surge toward the village, driven not just by hunger, but by a primal fury that could not be soothed by mere fire. Lyra's knowledge of ancient rites hinted at a deeper magic, a connection between the elements and the creatures of the wild that she had only begun to understand. As the fire grew stronger, Lyra felt the heat ignite something within her, a resonance with the raw energy of the jungle. The fire whispered secrets of survival, of how light could pierce even the deepest shadows. She closed her eyes, feeling the pulse of the flame synchronize with her own heartbeat, a dance of life and power that bridged the human and the elemental. Her thoughts drifted to the elders' stories, tales of fire spirits who could tame the wildest beasts, of flames that could heal wounds and banish nightmares. Lyra had been chosen not just for her skill, but for her spirit's strength. Tonight, she must become more than a keeper of embers. She must embody the flame itself, a beacon of hope against the encroaching terror. The village gathered around the hearth, their faces lit by the growing blaze. Lyra's voice rose in a chant, steady and commanding, echoing through the trees like a call to arms. The fire responded, its roar swelling into a shield of light that pushed back the darkness. The dinosaurs, sensing the barrier, hesitated, massive heads turning, eyes reflecting the fire's glow with wary respect. Torin's warriors moved to the perimeter, emboldened by the fire's strength. Nyra prepared her healing herbs, ready for wounds yet unseen. Eirik stood silent, his gaze distant as he searched for visions that might guide them through the coming storm. And Kale, ever vigilant, returned from his tracking with news that sharpened their resolve. Lyra's flame had become the tribe's heart, a living force that bound them together. But even as the fire burned brighter, she knew the night held dangers that no light alone could banish. The dinosaurs' shadows stretched longer, and the earth trembled with their approach. The tribe's survival depended on more than fire. It required courage, unity, and the fierce spirit that only the hidden survivors possessed. With a final surge of heat, the flame blazed fiercely, casting towering shadows and painting the jungle in hues of gold and crimson. Lyra opened her eyes, her resolve as unyielding as the fire's core. The night might be dark, but within the blaze lay the promise of dawn. The tribe was ready to face the coming storm, guided by the light she had rekindled. The ground beneath the village trembled with the distant rumble of thunderous footsteps. A great herd of dinosaurs, massive and relentless, was moving steadily closer, drawn by the scent of life and the warmth that defied the cold night. Their towering forms cast long shadows through the dense foliage, and the earth seemed to shudder in their wake. At the heart of the hidden survivors, Torin stood ready, his broad shoulders squared, his grip tight around the ancient shield that had been passed down through generations. The shield was not just a tool, it was a symbol of protection, forged with rituals and blessed by the spirits that watched over the forest. Tonight, it would be the last line between life and devastation. Torin's eyes scanned the horizon, measuring the distance between the creeping danger and the fragile safety of their homes. His breath came steady, his muscles coiled like a spring ready to unleash. The village depended on him, each member counting on his strength, his courage, and his resolve to hold the line when the monstrous creatures breached the perimeter. Torin was not just a warrior. He was a guardian whose very presence inspired confidence and hope in the hearts of those around him. The first silhouettes of dinosaurs emerged through the trees, huge beasts with powerful limbs and thick, armored hides. The low growls and bellows echoed like distant thunder, signaling the unstoppable force pressing forward. Torin raised his shield high, a call to the other defenders who formed ranks beside him. Each warrior readied their weapons, sharpened spears and heavy clubs fashioned from the hardest wood and stone. The night air thickened with tension as the tribe prepared to face a force that could crush them in moments. Around the village's edge, Torin paced, positioning his warriors at key points where the dense underbrush narrowed, natural choke points where the giant creature's numbers could be blunted. His strategic mind, sharpened by years of battle and training, sought to turn the overwhelming size of the enemy into a weakness. The narrow paths and tangled vines could slow the dinosaurs, giving the tribe a fighting chance. He barked orders, voice firm and clear, rallying his people to stand their ground no matter the cost. As the first dinosaur crossed into the clearing, the clash erupted. Torin met the charge with a shield raised, absorbing the initial impact that sent a tremor through his arms. The beast's massive head swung down, jaws snapping with bone-crushing power, but Torin's shield held firm, deflecting the blow and forcing the creature to back away momentarily. Nearby warriors launched spears, striking vulnerable spots beneath scales and joints. The battle was brutal, each moment a fight for survival where strength alone would not suffice. Torin's focus sharpened, every movement calculated. He dodged the swing of a tail that could uproot trees and countered with a fierce strike to the flank of a charging dinosaur. His arms burned with exertion, but his spirit remained unbroken. The shield, heavy and worn, was an extension of his will, a barrier between the tribe's future and destruction. Around him, the clash of battle filled the night. Roars and screams, the shattering of branches, the thud of massive feet on soft earth. The tribe's warriors fought as one, their coordination a testament to the countless drills and shared resolve forged in the crucible of hardship. Torin moved through the chaos like a storm, directing reinforcements where the line faltered, shielding the vulnerable, inspiring those who wavered. His voice cut through the cacophony, steady and commanding, a beacon amid the storm of teeth and claws. Despite their fierce resistance, the dinosaurs pressed relentlessly, driven by hunger and an ancient instinct that ignored pain and caution. The ground shook beneath a sudden surge as a massive dinosaur broke through the front line, its roar deafening and terrifying. Torin faced the beast head-on, planting his feet firmly, meeting the challenge without hesitation. The fight became personal, a struggle of wills and strength against overwhelming force. In the heart of the fray, Torin's shield cracked but held, a testament to the ancient blessings woven into its fibers. His arms ached, his breath ragged, but he stood unyielding. The tribe saw in him not just a warrior, but a living wall that could not be broken. His unrelenting stand bought precious time for the villagers to fortify their homes and for Naira to tend the wounded. As dawn approached, the herd began to retreat, battered and wary, pushed back by the tribe's fierce defense. The survivors regrouped, the weight of exhaustion settling over them, but also the quiet triumph of a night survived. Torin lowered his shield, eyes scanning the horizon one last time before turning back toward the village. His body bore the marks of battle, scratches, bruises, and sweat-soaked skin, but his spirit blazed as fiercely as the fire Lyra had rekindled. The tribe was safe, for now, shielded by his strength and the unbreakable bond that held them together. Torin's stand was more than defense. It was a promise that the hidden survivors would endure, no matter the dangers lurking in the ancient shadows. The first light of morning filtered softly through the dense canopy, casting golden hues across the village nestled within the towering prehistoric jungle. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth, and the faint smoke of the sacred fire Lyra had kept alive through the biting cold night. The echoes of last night's battle still lingered, broken branches, disturbed earth, and the faint moans of those wounded in the desperate defense. Among the tribe, there was no time for rest. The true test of survival was just beginning, and Naira, the healer of roots, moved swiftly to tend the injured with unwavering calm. Naira's hands were gentle but precise, guided by knowledge passed down from countless generations. The jungle around her was more than just home. It was a vast apothecary brimming with life-saving plants and herbs. Each leaf, flower, and root held a secret cure or soothing balm, waiting for the right touch to unlock its power. As she worked, she spoke softly, words of comfort and hope flowing to those in pain. Her presence was a balm in itself, a beacon of peace amid chaos and fear. A young hunter lay on a bed of moss, his breathing shallow, his skin pale from the weight of a deep gash across his thigh. Naira examined the wound with practiced eyes, carefully cleansing it with water drawn from a nearby stream. She crushed leaves from a bitter herb known for its antiseptic qualities, mixing it with resin to create a paste. The scent was sharp but healing. Applying the mixture with delicate fingers, she whispered a prayer to the spirits of the forest, invoking their strength to mend flesh and bone. Around her, other tribe members gathered, some injured, others assisting, each playing a role in the delicate dance of survival. Naira's knowledge extended beyond physical healing. She understood the fragile balance of mind and body, the fears that gnawed as fiercely as any wound. With each patient, she offered not only medicine but words of courage, stories of resilience woven from the tribe's own history. Her voice carried the weight of generations, reminding all that survival was as much about spirit as it was flesh. The healer's work was interrupted by the arrival of Kale, the silent tracker. His face bore the strain of sleepless nights and countless steps through unforgiving terrain. He carried news, signs of another lurking threat, distant but approaching. Naira's eyes met his, calm and steady, acknowledging the burden they all shared. She offered him a leaf wrapped in a bitter brew to ease his restless mind and soothe fatigue, a gesture of quiet solidarity in the face of endless dangers. Naira then turned her attention to an elder, whose cough rattled deep in his chest, a reminder that the harshness of their world spared no one. With gentle hands, she prepared a fragrant tea brewed from the bark of a rare tree, known among the tribe for its ability to clear the lungs and restore breath. The elder drank slowly, the warmth spreading through his body, a flicker of relief crossing his worn features. It was moments like these, small victories in the battle against time and nature, that fueled Naira's unyielding dedication. The jungle itself seemed to pulse with life, a living entity watching the tribe's fragile existence. Naira respected this ancient connection, never taking more than needed, always giving thanks to the spirits for their gifts. She understood that her healing was part of a greater cycle, one that intertwined with the fire Lyra tended, the strength Torin wielded, the visions Eirik saw, and the silent steps of Kale. Together, they formed the heart of the hidden survivors, a community bound not just by blood but by trust and shared purpose. As the sun climbed higher, Naira moved among the village with quiet determination, weaving her knowledge into every corner of their lives. She gathered fresh herbs with deft hands, teaching the young how to recognize the plants that could mean life or death. Her lessons extended beyond medicine, instilling respect for the jungle's delicate balance and the wisdom needed to coexist with the giants that roamed beyond their walls. Despite the calm she projected, Naira felt the undercurrent of fear that pulsed beneath the tribe's surface. The dinosaurs were not defeated. They were patient, relentless, and ever watchful. The wounds she healed were reminders that safety was temporary, a fleeting reprieve in a world ruled by predators. But Naira also saw the strength that emerged from vulnerability, the way the tribe's bonds deepened in the face of adversity, how each member's unique gifts contributed to their survival. As evening approached, Naira prepared for the night's rituals, gathering rare blossoms that only opened under moonlight. These flowers were used in ceremonies meant to protect the village from the unseen spirits and restless beasts that prowled the darkness. The ritual was a sacred act, blending the tangible and the mystical, reinforcing the tribe's connection to the forces that shaped their world. Naira's hands moved with reverence, weaving the blossoms into garlands and sprinkling petals over the fire's glow. Her voice rose in a soft chant, calling upon the ancient powers to shield their homes, to grant strength to those who guarded the perimeter, and to soothe the restless minds of the young and old alike. The ceremony was a beacon, a promise that even in the shadow of extinction, life would endure. Her work, both physical and spiritual, was a testament to resilience in a land where every day was a battle for breath and heartbeats. Naira's healing touch was a quiet rebellion against the wild chaos, a soft light that flickered stubbornly in the face of overwhelming darkness. In her hands, the tribe found hope, renewal, and the strength to face whatever storms the ancient jungle would bring next. The twilight sky stretched across the vast jungle, painting the horizon in shades of deep purple and fading gold. As the village settled into a quiet rhythm, a stillness fell over the canopy above. Beneath an ancient, twisted tree, its roots sprawling like the veins of the earth, Irex sat cross-legged, eyes closed, face calm but focused. The dream seer was entering the realm where time wove its fragile threads, where the future whispered its secrets through fleeting images and sensations. This was a moment of vulnerability and power, a sacred space where he could peer beyond the veil that separated the tribe from the unseen dangers lurking beyond the trees. The air around him grew thick, heavy with the scent of damp moss and blooming night flowers. His breath slowed, syncing with the soft pulse of the jungle's heartbeat. Slowly, visions began to stir within his mind, shimmering like ripples on a still pond. Irex's face twitched subtly, eyes twitching beneath closed lids as images formed and shifted. Shadows of massive shapes moved through dense foliage, the earth trembling beneath heavy footsteps. The air carried distant roars, low and menacing, warning of predators far larger and more fearsome than any the tribe had faced before. Irex's mind traveled through time's tangled pathways, glimpsing moments yet to come. He saw the village, peaceful and bright in daylight, but shrouded in tension as the sun dipped below the horizon. The faces of his friends, Kale, Lyra, Torin, Naira, appeared in his vision, each carrying the weight of their roles and burdens. Their strength, their resolve, their bond would be tested by the events he foresaw. The dream seer's heart tightened, knowing the trials ahead demanded unity and courage beyond what they had ever known. Opening his eyes, Irex rose with a silent grace, the weight of his vision settling into his chest like a stone. He moved through the village, the flickering glow of the sacred fire casting long shadows across the faces of his people. His presence commanded attention without force. The tribe trusted his connection to the spirit world, understanding that his visions were gifts as vital as any weapon or skill. Children paused in their play, elders ceased their murmured conversations, all turning to listen as Eirik shared the warnings etched in his dreams. His voice was steady but carried the urgency of what he had witnessed. He spoke of enormous beasts moving closer, creatures that could sweep through their homes like storms, breaking bones and shattering lives. The air would grow thick with danger, and the night would become darker than ever before. Eirik described the signs, the tremors beneath their feet, the eerie silence before the thunder of claws, the scent of ancient earth disturbed by giant footsteps. These warnings were not mere stories. They were calls to action, demands for preparation and vigilance. The tribe absorbed his words with quiet determination. The dangers Eirik described were vast and terrifying, but they were not powerless. His visions carried guidance as well, paths through the jungle less traveled, hiding places beneath the roots of great trees, ways to move unseen beneath the cover of shadows. He spoke of using the land's own rhythms to their advantage, becoming one with the jungle's breath and heartbeat. The tribe's survival depended on embracing these lessons, trusting in the old knowledge and the unity that bound them. Eirik's role extended beyond warning. As the visionary, he was also a mediator between the seen and unseen, a bridge connecting the physical world with the spiritual forces that shaped it. Each night, he would return to the sacred tree, seeking further insight, listening for whispers carried on the wind. His connection deepened with every vision, revealing truths hidden beneath the surface of reality. He knew the tribe's future was fragile, balanced on a knife's edge between hope and destruction. In the days that followed, Eirik led quiet excursions into the surrounding forest, guiding small groups to test routes and safe havens he had seen in his dreams. His knowledge of the jungle's secret paths was unparalleled, and his ability to read the subtle signs of shifting winds or disturbed leaves made him invaluable. He taught others to move silently, to listen with more than just ears, to sense the heartbeat of the wild as if it were their own. These lessons became lifelines, weaving the tribe tighter together in their shared purpose. Despite the weight of his visions, Eirik bore no arrogance. His connection to the spirit world was a burden as much as a blessing, and the loneliness of the dream seer's path was often profound. Yet, he found strength in the tribe's trust, in the knowledge that his insights gave them a fighting chance against the overwhelming forces they faced. Each vision was a puzzle piece, each warning a call to prepare for the unknown. The approaching threat was more than just beasts wandering too close. It was a reckoning with the ancient forces of nature, a test of the tribe's resilience and adaptability. Eirik's dreams spoke of challenges that would push every member to their limits, demanding sacrifices and courage. The fate of the hidden survivors hung in balance, fragile but fierce. As night fell once more, Eirik returned to the ancient tree, feeling the cool earth beneath him and the whispering winds around. His mind opened again to the flow of time, seeking the knowledge to guide his people through the darkness ahead. The jungle seemed to hold its breath, waiting with him, as the visions danced once more, shadows of the future casting light on the path forward. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and crushed foliage as Torin stood at the edge of the village's perimeter, his imposing figure silhouetted against the fading light of dusk. Every muscle in his body was coiled, ready for the inevitable. The ground beneath him vibrated faintly, a warning whispered through the roots and stones, a distant thunder growing steadily louder. This was no ordinary evening. Tonight, the herd approached, a living tide of scales and muscle, casting shadows large enough to swallow the trees whole. Torin's grip tightened on the legendary shield, its surface worn but glowing faintly with the blessings of the forest spirits. Passed down through generations, it was more than protection. It was a symbol of hope and resilience. The elders had told stories of how the shield's power was woven with ancient magic, infused by the spirits who guarded the jungle's secrets. Torin carried not just a weapon, but the faith of his people. Every scar etched into the shield told a story of battles fought and survived, a testament to the tribe's unwavering spirit. The first silhouettes of the dinosaurs emerged from the dense foliage, massive creatures moving with unexpected grace. Their eyes reflected the dying light, curious and indifferent, yet dangerous beyond measure. Torin's breath slowed, his mind sharpening to a razor's edge. He understood the creatures were drawn to the village, likely searching for water or shelter, but their presence was a threat none could ignore. The tribe's safety depended on his ability to hold the line. With a deep, steadying breath, Torin called to the warriors gathered beside him. Their faces were hardened by countless trials, eyes flickering with determination and fear. They had trained for moments like this, but no preparation could fully steel the heart against the raw power of these ancient beasts. Torin's voice cut through the tension, calm but commanding. "Stand firm. Our strength is in our shield and our will. We are the barrier between the hidden survivors and the storm." The dinosaurs advanced, their thunderous steps shaking the ground. Torin raised his shield high, a bulwark of wood and spirit, meeting the first wave of colossal feet. The ground cracked beneath the impact, the shield absorbing blows that could crush bones and shatter stone. Around him, the tribe's warriors formed a protective circle, spears poised and arrows nocked, ready to strike at any sign of weakness. Torin's presence was a beacon, steadying their nerves as the battle began. The clash was brutal and relentless. Torin moved with the practiced precision of a seasoned warrior, his shield a moving fortress that deflected the dinosaurs' savage attempts to breach the village's edge. He felt every tremor through the wood, every roar in his chest, yet his focus never wavered. Each swing and block was a dance of survival, a desperate attempt to hold back the flood. His arms burned with exertion, sweat mingling with the dirt of the battlefield, but the shield never faltered. Amid the chaos, Torin's thoughts turned to the tribe inside the village, their children, the elders, the firekeepers tending the sacred flames. This fight was not just for territory, but for the fragile heartbeat of their way of life. The spirit blessings in his shield were a reminder of the bond between the people and the jungle, a pact that demanded courage and sacrifice. Torin's resolve deepened. He would be the last line, the unwavering shield between life and oblivion. Suddenly, a massive tail swept through the air, narrowly missing Torin as he dodged with quick reflexes. The impact shattered a nearby tree, sending splinters flying. The warrior's voice rose in a fierce battle cry, rallying his comrades to hold fast. The dinosaurs pressed harder, their instincts driving them to break the defense. Torin's shield took blow after blow, the wood groaning but holding. His feet planted firmly in the mud, he pushed back with every ounce of strength. In the midst of the struggle, Torin caught sight of Kale weaving through the trees, his eyes sharp and alert. The tracker's silent signals guided the warriors, pointing to weak spots in the herd's formation. With Torin's shield absorbing the brunt, the hunters launched coordinated strikes, their spears finding gaps between the armored scales. The balance of power shifted slightly, a testament to the tribe's unity and skill. Hours passed in a blur of motion and noise, but Torin remained unyielding. The shield became an extension of his body, a living thing pulsing with a spirit's strength. Each breath was measured, each movement deliberate. The forest around them seemed to hold its breath, watching as the tribe fought for survival against the overwhelming force of nature. Torin's heart beat steady, a drum calling courage into the souls of his people. As dawn approached, the dinosaur herd began to retreat, their curiosity sated or their hunger unmet. The earth stilled beneath their departure, and the jungle's normal symphony slowly resumed. Torin lowered his shield, muscles trembling from exhaustion but pride burning bright. The tribe had survived the night's onslaught, thanks in no small part to his steadfast defense. Returning to the village, Torin was met with grateful faces and quiet respect. His shield bore new scars, each one a story of sacrifice and endurance. The elders spoke of the spirit's favor, the bond between warrior and nature renewed. The hidden survivors knew this victory was but a moment in an ongoing struggle, but tonight they had held the darkness at bay. Torin's stand was a reminder that strength alone was not enough. It was the courage to stand firm, the faith in one another, and the unbreakable spirit of the tribe that ensured their survival. The shield of spirits was more than wood and magic. It was the heart of their defense, a symbol of resilience in a world ruled by giants. And as the sun rose, casting light on the scars of battle, Torin vowed to guard that heart with every breath he had. The night's chill crept into every corner of the village, snaking through the branches and slipping past the shelters. The dense jungle, usually alive with sounds, fell into an eerie silence broken only by the distant rustle of leaves. Lyra's eyes traced the fading embers of the sacred fire, the flickering glow barely piercing the growing darkness. Without the blaze's warmth and light, the village would be vulnerable, exposed not only to the biting cold but also to the prowling shadows of prehistoric predators lurking nearby. Lyra knelt beside the fire pit, her fingers gently brushing over the dying coals. Her role as the tribe's firekeeper was a responsibility carried with reverence and solemn pride. This fire was no ordinary flame. It was the heart of the hidden survivors, a sacred gift handed down through countless generations. It was said to hold the spirit's protection, a beacon to ward off the cold breath of night beasts, and a symbol of life's persistence amidst overwhelming danger. The wind picked up, stirring the smoldering ashes and whispering through the leaves like a warning. Lyra felt the weight of the moment settle over her. A cold wave was sweeping across the jungle, threatening to snuff out the fragile warmth she guarded. She rose slowly, her hands already forming the ancient gestures passed down from the elders, invoking the old chants that breathed life back into the dying flame. Her voice was soft but unwavering, a steady rhythm that intertwined with the rustling canopy overhead. With each word, the embers pulsed stronger, glowing from deep red to vibrant orange. The fire began to roar quietly, a tentative blaze that fought against the encroaching cold. Around her, the tribe gathered, their faces illuminated by the growing light, eyes reflecting relief and hope. Lyra's flame was more than warmth. It was the tribe's shield against despair, a defiance against the dark forces that sought to claim the night. Beyond the village's edge, shadows shifted. Massive forms lurked, drawn by the scent of life and the promise of heat. Dinosaurs, curious and hungry, prowled closer, their massive heads silhouetted against the starless sky. The fire's glow kept them at bay for now, but Lyra knew the protection was fragile. She moved quickly, gathering kindling and dry branches, her movements practiced and deliberate. Each piece added to the fire's heart, strengthened the barrier that separated survival from peril. Her mind raced through memories of the elders' teachings, how the fire was more than fuel and flame, but a living spirit that demanded respect and care. The right herbs, woven into the smoke, could mask the village's presence or send signals to allies hidden in the forest. Lyra selected leaves and twigs carefully, dropping them into the fire to create swirling clouds of aromatic smoke. The air thickened with the scent of pine and sweet grass, a fragrant shield that mingled with the crackling heat. As the fire grew, so did the spirit's presence. Lyra felt the energy flow through her, a comforting warmth that spread beyond the physical flame. The jungle's ancient magic whispered secrets, connecting her to the past and future. The fire whispered back, alive and hungry, ready to defend the hidden survivors once more. The tribe's youngest children huddled close, their wide eyes absorbing the spectacle, their small hands clutching tightly to the warmth. Suddenly, a distant roar shattered the fragile calm, a reminder that the danger had not vanished, only been held at bay. The cold wave pressed harder, carrying with it the scent of frost and sharp, clawed threats. Lyra's heart quickened, but her voice remained steady, raising the fire higher, calling on the spirits to protect her people. She felt the fire answer, its flames leaping toward the sky, a fierce beacon against the night's cold shadow. Her gaze met Torin's as he returned from the perimeter, sweat and grime marking his battle-worn face. The shield-bearer's nod was silent confirmation. Her fire must never falter, for it was their lifeline. Together they represented the tribe's strength. Torin, the immovable wall, and Lyra, the unyielding flame. Their unity was a promise etched into the very survival of the hidden survivors. As the night deepened, Lyra tended the sacred fire with unwavering focus, her chants weaving into the sounds of the jungle, a song of life, resistance, and hope. The dinosaurs circled beyond the firelight, wary and restrained, held at bay by a force older than their raw power. The tribe, wrapped in the glow of Lyra's flame, found warmth and courage to face the dark hours ahead. This night was a trial, but the flame endured. In the heart of the prehistoric wilderness, amidst towering beasts and lurking shadows, Lyra's fire burned bright, a symbol that no matter how fierce the cold or how close the threat, the hidden survivors would fight on. Their light would never be extinguished. Night in the jungle carries a weight unlike any other, silent but heavy, filled with unseen dangers and the restless breath of colossal creatures lurking just beyond the flicker of campfires. In the heart of the hidden survivors' village, beneath a canopy thick with ancient leaves, Nyra moves with gentle purpose. Her hands, steady and sure, cradle the healing roots and leaves she has gathered from the forest's secret gardens. Each plant carries a story, a remedy whispered down through generations, knowledge born from pain, patience, and keen observation of the natural world. Nyra is more than the tribe's healer. She is the guardian of life's delicate balance in a realm dominated by predators far larger and more merciless than humans. Her expertise with herbs and poultices transforms injury into recovery, despair into hope. As she carefully crushes the leaves, the soft scent of earth and green mingles with the cool night air, offering a subtle promise of relief to those who suffer. The recent attacks have left many wounded, scrapes from desperate scuffles with smaller beasts, deep bites from tangled fights, and bruises inflicted by the ground itself during frantic escapes. Nyra tends to them all with unwavering calm, her touch a balm against both physical wounds and the creeping fear that settles in the tribe's bones. The children watch her work with wide eyes, sensing the sacred ritual in her movements. Tonight, her attention focuses on a young hunter who had ventured too close to a lurking predator. His breathing is shallow, face pale beneath the flickering firelight. Nyra's fingers find the swelling bite on his arm, tracing carefully, her practiced hands working swiftly to cleanse and soothe. She applies a paste made from crushed leaves and bitter roots, whispering ancient words of healing, a chant as old as the jungle itself. The boy's body relaxes under her care, the tension easing as warmth slowly returns to his skin. Each night, he listens for these signs, sifting through vivid images that flicker like shadows on a cave wall. The figures that emerge are often unsettling, towering beasts with thunderous steps, eyes gleaming with ancient hunger, and landscapes shifting beneath oppressive skies. These visions urge vigilance, demanding that the tribe prepare for the challenges ahead. His recent dreams have grown darker, filled with an ominous presence stalking closer than ever before. The scent of danger lingers, sharp and unmistakable. Irex sees the approaching silhouettes of great predators, their claws tearing through the earth, their roars shaking the very air. The tribe's safety, once held in fragile balance, now teeters on the edge of chaos. It is this knowledge that drives Irex's urgency as he rises from meditation, his body tense yet resolute. Gathering with the elders and warriors, Eirik shares his visions with measured words, each syllable carrying the weight of his responsibility. His voice is calm, but beneath it pulses a fierce determination to protect those who depend on his insight. The tribe listens, their faces etched with concern but buoyed by trust in Eirik's gift. His ability to perceive threats beyond the veil of the visible world has guided their decisions before, turning potential disasters into manageable trials. Tonight, his warning is clear. The silent threat that Kale tracks is but a fragment of a greater storm gathering on the horizon. Eirik's dreams reveal patterns, paths the dinosaurs will take, places where the earth might tremble under their passage, and moments when the tribe's defenses could falter. This knowledge becomes the foundation for the tribe's strategy, woven into their preparations like threads of woven bark, strong and unyielding. Despite the gravity of his visions, Eirik does not surrender to despair. Instead, he encourages unity, reminding the tribe that their strength lies not only in their weapons or fire, but in their shared spirit and wisdom. His role as seer is as much about instilling hope as it is about forewarning. He teaches that dreams are guides, not chains, and that understanding them allows the tribe to navigate the darkness with purpose and courage. The dream seer's connection to the unseen world also holds moments of beauty and clarity. Among the shadows, he glimpses the flicker of light, the shimmering of protective spirits watching over the tribe, the whispers of ancestors who walk alongside them in spirit. These visions reinforce the sacred bond between the hidden survivors and the jungle that shelters them. Eirik's dreams remind all that while danger stalks, they are never truly alone. As the firelight dances across the faces gathered around the council, Eirik speaks of the delicate balance between fear and action. He advises the hunters to tread carefully, the firekeepers to hold their flames steady, and the healers to prepare for what may come. Each member of the tribe is called to embody vigilance, courage, and resilience. In this way, Eirik's dreams become a shared vision, a map drawn in the mind's eye that guides their steps through uncertain days. In the quiet moments before dawn, Eirik returns to solitude beneath the towering trees. His thoughts drift between the waking world and the dreamscape, seeking answers in the silence. The jungle breathes around him, alive with sounds both familiar and strange. In this sacred space, he renews his commitment to the tribe, pledging to stand as the bridge between seen and unseen, guiding the hidden survivors through shadows that stretch long and deep. The night's weight lingers, but within it also pulses the quiet strength of knowledge. Eirik's dreams are not merely warnings but beacons, illuminating the path ahead. As the first light of morning breaks through the canopy, the tribe rises with renewed resolve, ready to face the challenges that the dream seer has revealed. The morning mist still clings to the leaves of the jungle when Naira steps quietly into the shaded undergrowth. Each step is careful, measured, as she moves toward the plants that hold the secrets of survival. Her hands, gentle yet sure, brush aside ferns and vines, searching for the healing herbs that have sustained the hidden survivors through countless trials. Naira's knowledge is ancient, passed down through generations, a sacred trust that blends science and spirit in equal measure. She carries a small woven basket, its weave tight and worn from use. Today's harvest requires precision, the right leaves, roots, and flowers picked at their peak potency. In a world where danger lurks beneath every branch and shadow, Naira's expertise is the thread holding the tribe's health together. Wounds from encounters with predators, bites from venomous creatures, or the exhaustion from endless vigilance find relief in the remedies she crafts. Naira pauses beside a patch of bloodroot, its crimson sap known for its powerful antiseptic qualities. She carefully slices a piece, mindful not to waste even the smallest fragment. Nearby, the bright yellow petals of the feverfew plant catch her eye. This flower, bitter to the taste, has soothed fevers and eased pain since the tribe's earliest days. Her hands work swiftly but thoughtfully, gathering ingredients with the care of a sculptor shaping clay. Returning to the village, Naira's footsteps are quick but silent. Inside her shelter, she arranges the herbs on flat stones warmed by the fire. Each preparation is a ritual, a blend of knowledge and reverence. Crushing leaves releases fragrances that mingle with the smoky air, scents that bring comfort and hope to those who wait. Her healing salves and poultices are more than medicine. They are a lifeline woven from the earth itself. A sudden cry from outside draws her attention. Naira moves swiftly to find a young child fallen during a morning hunt, scraped and bleeding from a brush with a hidden thorn. The child's face is pale, eyes wide with fear. Naira kneels beside him, her touch soothing as she cleans the wound, her voice soft and steady. She speaks of the plants as if recounting ancient tales, each word a balm that eases both pain and anxiety. Her connection to the jungle is profound, almost spiritual. Naira understands that every root and leaf carries the essence of life, a balance of power and gentleness. This knowledge comes not only from books or lessons, but from listening, to the whispers of the forest, to the rhythms of growth and decay. She respects the plants as allies, not tools, and honors the sacred exchange of taking what is needed and giving back through rituals and offerings. Beyond physical healing, Naira's presence brings calm to the tribe's restless spirits. Her shelter serves as a sanctuary where fears are eased, stories shared, and courage rekindled. The tribe's elders seek her counsel on ailments beyond the body, restlessness, nightmares, the heavy weight of uncertainty that hangs over them like a storm cloud. Naira's remedies include teas brewed with calming herbs and gentle chants that weave the threads of healing into the very air. Her role is especially critical now, as the tribe faces mounting threats. Injuries from skirmishes with giant creatures, exhaustion from long watches, and the creeping effects of hunger test their endurance. Naira's garden, modest yet abundant, becomes a beacon of resilience. Her hands work tirelessly, her spirit unyielding, as she tends to both the plants and the people who depend on them. In the quiet moments between tending wounds, Naira reflects on the fragility and strength of life in this ancient world. The jungle is a realm of both beauty and brutality, where survival requires wisdom and heart. She knows that healing is not merely about mending flesh, but about sustaining hope, nurturing bonds, and fostering the courage to face another day. As twilight falls, Naira steps outside to gather night-blooming herbs, their fragrances released under the moon's gentle gaze. These plants hold secrets for restful sleep and dreams free from fear, gifts she will share with those haunted by the shadows of the past and the uncertainties of the future. Her garden is a sanctuary in the wild, a place where the tribe's strength is renewed, root by root, leaf by leaf. Under the canopy where shadows dance with flickers of fading light, Eirik settles beneath the ancient sentinel tree. The air is thick with a sense of earth and foliage, a quiet symphony that cradles his restless mind. Eyes closed, he slips beyond the waking world into a realm where past, present, and future converge. In this sacred space, Eirik becomes a vessel for visions, fleeting images and cryptic symbols that whisper of events yet to unfold. His breath slows as he journeys inward, sensing the pulse of the jungle and the heartbeat of the tribe intertwined with his own. The dreams are not mere fantasies, but a bridge to something greater, a dialogue between the visible and the unseen. Eirik's connection to this world is ancient, rooted in the mysteries passed down by those who came before, gifted with a rare ability to peer through time's veil. Tonight, the visions come swiftly and sharply, painting a stark tableau of shadow and light. He sees the horizon darken with the massive shapes of dinosaurs gathering, their movements deliberate and ominous. The ground trembles beneath their weight, a warning felt deep in the bones. Eirik's heart quickens as the images shift, showing the tribe's peaceful village surrounded by towering beasts, their eyes gleaming with hunger and primal instinct. Each vision carries a message, a warning encoded in symbols and sensations. Eirik perceives the approach of danger, but also glimpses of hope, the strength found in unity and the power of knowledge shared among the hidden survivors. His dreams reveal hidden paths through the jungle, secret places where the tribe might find refuge or tools to aid their defense. These glimpses guide not only strategy but spirit, reminding the tribe of their resilience and the wisdom woven into their survival. Eirik's awakening is gentle but filled with urgency. His eyes open to the dimming day, the weight of his visions pressing on his mind. He rises, feeling the familiar call to share what he has seen. The tribe gathers, their faces expectant, trusting the silent seer who navigates the twilight between worlds. In a voice steady yet filled with solemnity, Eirik recounts the warnings carried by his dreams, the shadows gathering on the edges of their existence, the need for vigilance, courage, and unwavering togetherness. He speaks of the dinosaurs not merely as foes but as forces of nature, vast and unpredictable, challenging the tribe's every breath. His words carry the gravity of one who has glimpsed the future and understands the fragile balance they must maintain. The tribe listens, absorbing the visions as both a threat and a guide, recognizing that their survival depends on heeding the whispers of the dream world. Eirik's role extends beyond prophecy. He becomes a symbol of hope and a beacon of foresight, encouraging the tribe to prepare not just with weapons and walls, but with hearts and minds aligned. His dreams foster a deeper connection to the jungle's rhythms, urging respect for the creatures they face and the environment they inhabit. This understanding transforms fear into strategy, chaos into order. As night deepens, Eirik leads a ritual beneath the stars, invoking the spirits of the forest and the ancestors who walk unseen. The tribe joins in, their voices rising in a chorus that echoes through the trees, a plea for protection and strength. This ceremony binds them together, a living tapestry of faith and determination woven from the fabric of their shared existence. The visions linger in the air, shaping plans and fortifying resolve. Eirik's dreams are a compass pointing toward survival, a reminder that in this world of giants and shadows, knowledge is the sharpest weapon. The tribe's future hinges on listening, to the land, to each other, and to the quiet warnings that flow from the unseen depths of the dream realm. The morning mist clings gently to the leaves as Naira moves through the dense undergrowth, her steps careful and measured. The jungle is alive with whispers, the hum of insects, the rustle of foliage, the distant calls of birds, yet Naira's focus is unbroken. She knows every root, every leaf, every blossom that offers relief and strength. Her hands brush over plants both common and rare, gathering with reverence the precious remedies passed down through generations. Naira's knowledge is a treasure, a bridge between nature's secrets and the tribe's survival. In a world dominated by towering beasts and unpredictable dangers, healing is as vital as hunting or defense. Without her, wounds left untreated could fester, infections could spread, and hope would quickly fade. She embodies calm and compassion, a steady force amid the chaos of their perilous existence. Today, Naira prepares a poultice, mixing crushed leaves with water drawn from a nearby stream. Her fingers move with practiced grace, blending herbs that soothe pain and speed recovery. A young boy approaches, limping from a recent encounter with a lurking predator. The bruise on his leg darkens, swelling with each passing hour. Naira kneels beside him, her voice soft as she soothes his fears, assuring him that relief is near. Her treatment begins with gentle cleansing, washing the wound with cool water and delicate hands. Then, the herbal mixture is applied, its earthy aroma filling the air. Naira wraps the boy's leg with strips of woven bark, sturdy yet flexible, ensuring the poultice stays in place. The The child's eyes close in relief, comforted by the healer's touch and the promise of mending. But Naira's duties extend beyond simple remedies. She is also a guardian of the tribe's lore, a keeper of stories that bind them to the land and each other. Her garden is more than a collection of plants. It is a sanctuary of knowledge, where the whispers of ancestors linger in the rustling leaves. Each plant carries a story, each cure a lesson in resilience and respect. Her connection to the jungle is profound. Naira senses the pulse of life in every root and flower, understanding the delicate balance that sustains the ecosystem. She teaches others to tread lightly, to take only what is needed, and to honor the gifts that nature provides. This wisdom ensures the tribe's continued harmony with the world they inhabit, even as they navigate threats that loom large. Challenges are ever present. Resources can be scarce, and the jungle can be unforgiving. Some plants are hidden deep within dangerous territory, guarded by predators or treacherous terrain. Naira often ventures beyond the village, risking encounters with dinosaurs or venomous creatures to gather rare herbs. Her bravery is quiet but unwavering, fueled by the knowledge that healing is a lifeline for her people. Today, a new test awaits. Reports have come of a strange illness spreading among the tribe's youngest. Fever, weakness, and strange marks on the skin worry even the elders. Naira knows time is of the essence. She consults her growing collection of remedies and old tales, seeking a cure that will stop the sickness before it spreads further. Her search leads her to a shadowed part of the forest, where ancient trees tower and sunlight barely touches the ground. Here, a rare flower blooms only once a year, a blossom said to possess powerful healing properties. With steady hands and a calm heart, Naira harvests what she needs, mindful of the plant's fragility and the ecosystem's balance. Back at the village, she crafts a potent elixir, combining the flower's essence with roots known to strengthen the body's defenses. She administers the medicine to the afflicted, watching carefully for signs of improvement. Days pass, and slowly, the children regain strength, smiles returning to their faces like sunlight piercing through clouds. Naira's garden is not just a place of healing, it is a symbol of hope and continuity. Through her, the tribe learns that survival depends not only on strength and cunning, but on care, knowledge, and connection. She reminds them that even in a world ruled by giants, life thrives in the small, quiet acts of nurturing and renewal. As night falls, Naira tends a fire beside her garden, the glow illuminating her thoughtful expression. Her hands, stained with earth and healing herbs, rest gently on the ground she loves. The jungle hums around her, a living tapestry of challenge and beauty, danger and sanctuary. In this balance, the hidden survivors find their strength, their home, and their future. The twilight sky paints the horizon in shades of deep purple and fading gold, the jungle settling into a hush as creatures seek their resting places. Amidst this stillness, Irik sits cross-legged beneath the ancient twisted roots of a colossal tree. His eyes are closed, breath slow and steady, while shadows of the night dance softly around him. The air feels thick with unseen forces, and the veil between the present and the future seems thinner here. This is Irik's sacred time, when the waking world slips away, and the whispering threads of dreams begin to weave their cryptic patterns. For generations, Irik's role as the dream seer has been vital to the hidden survivors. His visions guide decisions, warn of unseen threats, and illuminate paths when danger lurks in darkness. Unlike others, Irik sees beyond the immediate jungle, glimpsing echoes of what may come. These dreams are not mere figments of imagination, but messages from a realm that transcends time and space, connecting the tribe to the rhythm of the living world and the prehistoric giants that roam it. Tonight, a heavy tension settles deep within Irik's mind. Images flicker and blur, sharp claws tearing through foliage, the guttural roars of colossal beasts, the crackle of fire, and distant voices filled with urgency. His dream carries a weight heavier than before, a warning wrapped in shadows. Something is stirring beyond the known territories, a force poised to test the tribe's unity and courage. Irik's heart pounds as he senses the impending threat, the kind that could unravel all they have fought to protect. Opening his eyes, Irik rises slowly, the cool night air wrapping around him like a shroud. His gaze scans the canopy, where stars pierce the darkness, and the faint rustle of leaves whispers secrets only he can interpret. Approaching the village center, he finds the others gathered around the dying embers of the fire. His expression, calm but resolute, draws their attention immediately. The tribe knows that when Irik speaks after such a vision, they must listen closely. He shares the details of his dream with measured words, painting the scene with vivid clarity, how the great creatures shift their paths, how the balance of their world teeters on a knife's edge. His voice carries a tone of quiet urgency, urging preparation without panic, vigilance without fear. The tribe absorbs the weight of his message, each member contemplating their role in the trials that await. Irik's dreams have saved them before, guiding them through peril with wisdom born of the unseen. The elders nod in solemn agreement, and plans begin to take shape. Scouts will be sent beyond familiar grounds, traps reinforced, defenses sharpened. Every hunter, healer, and protector must ready themselves, not just for survival, but to stand as one against the looming storm. Irik offers a moment of solace, reminding them that dreams are not just warnings. They are gifts, a chance to face the unknown with eyes open wide. In the quiet moments that follow, Irik retreats to a secluded grove where ancient stones circle a pool of clear water. Here, he performs a ritual passed down through countless moons, a dance of spirit and shadow designed to deepen his connection with the forces that guide him. The flickering torchlight casts long, shifting shapes as he moves with purpose, chanting words older than memory. This communion strengthens his resolve and sharpens the clarity of his visions. As the night deepens, the tribe prepares for the trials foretold in Irik's dreams. Children are soothed with tales of bravery and hope, while warriors sharpen weapons and reinforce their bonds. The jungle, ever watchful, seems to hold its breath alongside them. Somewhere beyond the horizon, great footsteps approach, and the pulse of the earth quickens. The hidden survivors stand poised at the threshold of a new chapter, one where unity, courage, and the whispered wisdom of dreams will be their greatest weapons. Would you want to journey alongside them as they face the coming storm? To walk through the shadowed paths of an ancient world where every step could be their last? If so, stay with us, share your thoughts, and subscribe to follow the saga of the hidden survivors as they navigate the perils of the dinosaur age together. Where are you watching from, and would you dare to live in such times? The story unfolds, and your place in it awaits. The early morning sun filters gently through the dense canopy, casting dappled patterns across the village clearing where Naira moves with a quiet purpose. Each step she takes is deliberate, guided by years of knowledge passed down through whispered lessons and patient observation. Her fingers brush softly against the leaves of plants that bloom amid the shadows, some with vibrant hues, others subtle and unassuming. In this fragile jungle, where towering reptiles command the land, Naira's skill with herbs and remedies holds the fragile thread of the tribe's survival. For the hidden survivors, Naira embodies hope and restoration. Her presence is a balm, calming wounds and soothing fears with natural concoctions brewed from roots, barks, and blossoms hidden in the jungle's embrace. The tribe depends on her gentle hands to mend injuries sustained during hunts or the sudden, terrifying encounters with the prehistoric behemoths beyond the trees. Her knowledge stretches beyond simple healing. It encompasses understanding the delicate balance of life, death, and renewal that pulses through every living thing around them. This morning, Naira prepares her garden, a sacred space surrounded by protective branches woven by her own hands. She tends to each plant as if it were a precious treasure, recognizing its unique power. Some leaves offer pain relief, others stimulate energy, and a few hold the key to calming restless spirits after traumatic encounters. Her breath mingles with the earthy scent of soil and blossoms, a rhythm that connects her to the pulse of the jungle and its many secrets. The village awakens to an uneasy energy as reports reach them of a new danger lurking near the boundaries, injuries unlike any before, wounds deep and strange. Naira's skills will soon be tested in ways she has never faced. As the tribe gathers around the fire, the elders recount recent battles and close calls, their faces marked with concern. Naira listens intently, her mind weaving together remedies and strategies to prepare for the challenges ahead. Each wound tells a story, and she is determined to write the next chapter with care and courage. She moves through the village, offering comfort to the weary and tending to the wounded. Her eyes, soft yet sharp, reveal a deep empathy that transcends pain. With a steady hand, she cleanses a deep gash on a young hunter's arm, mixing crushed leaves with cool water to ease the sting. The hunter's breathing slows, the tension in his muscles melting away as Naira applies her salves. Word spreads quickly of her healing touch, a beacon of reassurance amid the uncertainty that shadows their days. Beyond the physical, Naira's role extends into the spiritual. She performs rituals that honor the jungle spirits, seeking their blessing for health and protection. In the quiet moments before dusk, she lights small offerings near the ancient trees, whispering prayers that mingle with the rustling leaves. These acts are as vital as the herbs she gathers. They sustain the tribe's connection to the unseen forces that shape their world, weaving a shield of faith and resilience. The weight of responsibility rests heavily on her shoulders, yet Naira embraces it with grace. She knows that the jungle is unforgiving, that every healed wound represents a victory against the relentless march of nature's giants. Her determination fuels the tribe's spirit, a reminder that survival depends not only on strength or speed, but on the delicate art of care and understanding. As the sun sinks low, casting long shadows across the land, Naira prepares for another night of vigilance. She arranges her potions and wraps fragrant herbs for easy access, ready to respond to the cries that may pierce the darkness. Her heart beats in time with the tribe's, steady, resolute, and full of quiet hope. Would you step into Naira's world, where every leaf and root holds the promise of healing? Can you feel the pulse of life beneath the giant footsteps that echo through the ancient jungle? Join us in this journey, subscribe to follow the hidden survivor's tale, and share where your heart dreams to wander. The story continues, and every moment is a chance to discover strength in unexpected places. Night descends slowly over the hidden survivor's village, a cloak of deep indigo studded with shimmering stars. In this fragile moment between day and darkness, Eirik settles beneath the sprawling branches of the ancient sentinel tree. This sacred place, steeped in stories and shadows, is where his visions come alive. Eyes closed, breath steady, he slips into the realm where dreams and reality intertwine. The tribe depends on him, not just as a seer, but as a guide navigating unseen dangers that stalk the edges of their existence. Eirik's dreams are more than fleeting images. They are messages wrapped in symbolism, puzzles crafted by the world beyond. They whisper of threats not yet visible, of shifting patterns among the colossal creatures roaming beyond their fragile sanctuary. His mind weaves together the subtle signs, the distant roar carried on the wind, the faint tremor beneath his feet, the unease clinging to the forest air. In these moments, he becomes a bridge between the tribe's present and a future shaped by forces both natural and mystical. Tonight's vision unfolds slowly, like a fragile thread unraveling in the dark. Shapes emerge, massive silhouettes moving through dense foliage, shadows stretching and folding over ancient land. Eirik senses the urgency beneath the images, a warning echoing through his spirit. These are not ordinary creatures passing by. They bear a force that threatens to overwhelm the hidden survivor's carefully guarded home. As the dream deepens, symbols of fire, water, and stone mingle with the primal images of dinosaur claws and thunderous footsteps. His body stiffens as the vision intensifies. A river, once a place of life and calm, surges with unnatural fury, threatening to flood the sacred lands. Flames lick the edges of the jungle, a sign of transformation and danger intertwined. Eirik's heart races, not from fear, but from the weight of responsibility that settles upon him. He knows that the tribe's survival hinges on interpreting these visions correctly, on acting swiftly before the silent threat becomes unstoppable. Opening his eyes, Eirik breathes deeply, grounding himself in the tangible world of leaves and earth. The village sleeps, but the hunter of dreams is already awake. He moves with purpose, the quiet rustle of his footsteps blending with the night's chorus. Each step is deliberate, a journey toward those who will listen and understand. The elders gather by the fire's fading glow, their faces etched with lines carved by time and wisdom. Eirik's voice breaks the silence, weaving the dream's tale with care and urgency. The tribe listens, caught between awe and apprehension. Eirik speaks of patterns seen in the stars, of movements sensed in the winds, of an ancient rhythm disturbed. His words carry the weight of unseen forces, drawing the hidden survivors into a web of anticipation and preparation. The dream is a call to unity, a summons for every skill and strength within the tribe to be awakened. It is a reminder that their fight is not just physical but spiritual, a battle for the very soul of their world. As dawn approaches, the tribe moves to ready themselves. Tools are sharpened, traps checked, and watchful eyes cast toward the dark horizon. Eirik stands quietly, a sentinel of foresight, knowing that the true test lies ahead. The dream has unveiled a path strewn with danger, but also one where courage and wisdom will light the way. His role is clear: to guide, to warn, and to inspire resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. The night fades, but Eirik's visions linger, a silent promise that even in the shadow of giants, the tribe's spirit endures. The hidden survivors stand at the edge of change, united by the whispered warnings of a dreamer who sees beyond the veil. Their story continues, carved into the ancient land by footsteps both small and immense. As you listen, imagine standing beside Eirik beneath the stars, feeling the weight of destiny on the breeze. Reflect on the power of dreams to shape reality, and the strength found in shared hope. If this journey moves your heart, subscribe to walk further into the hidden survivors saga. Tell us where you are joining from, and if you dare to live among such giants. The final chapter is but a step away, and the tale of survival unfolds still. The early light filters softly through thick leaves, painting the hidden survivor's village in hues of gold and green. Among the twisting roots and vibrant foliage, Naira moves with purposeful grace. Her hands, gentle yet skilled, touch each plant with reverence, understanding their secrets as if they spoke directly to her soul. In this ancient jungle, survival isn't only about strength or stealth. It is nurtured through knowledge, patience, and the healing power hidden in the earth itself. Naira's garden is a sanctuary, a place where life blooms amidst the ever-present threat of colossal creatures and fierce predators. The plants she tends hold more than simple cures. They carry the legacy of countless generations, wisdom encoded in leaf and root. Every herb gathered, every tincture brewed, is a thread woven into the fragile tapestry of the tribe's existence. Her role is vital, though often unseen. She mends wounds, soothes fears, and restores hope where despair might otherwise take root. Today, Naira's attention is drawn to a young child who stumbles into the clearing, clutching a bleeding arm. The boy's eyes shimmer with pain, but also trust, for he knows the healer's touch is a balm beyond medicine. Naira kneels beside him, her fingers steady as she selects leaves known to staunch blood and ease torment. With practiced care, she applies a poultice, whispering quiet words that blend tradition with empathy. The child's breathing eases, the sharp edge of agony softening under her care. While the village wakes, preparing for the challenges the day might bring, Naira's mind is already weaving possibilities. The dinosaurs that roam nearby are unpredictable, and injuries from encounters can be brutal. Her remedies must be both potent and swift, a race against time in a world where survival hangs on the thinnest thread. She gathers roots that ease fever, plants that reduce swelling, and herbs that calm the restless spirit. Each preparation is an act of love, an offering to the delicate balance between life and death. The healer's life is entwined with stories told by the elders, tales of plants discovered through trial and error, of ceremonies that call upon the spirits for guidance. Naira's connection to the jungle is sacred, a bond forged through years of listening and learning. She knows which plants thrive under moonlight, which require the breath of the wind, and which guard their secrets jealously. Her garden is a living archive, growing with the seasons and shaped by the rhythms of the earth. Suddenly, a distant rumble disrupts the calm. The ground trembles as massive feet pound nearer, shaking leaves from branches and sending birds into frantic flight. Naira's heart quickens, not with fear, but with resolve. The village may soon face an onslaught, and the wounds that follow will demand all her skill. She moves swiftly to prepare, mixing salves and gathering bandages woven from toughened fibers. Every second counts when the giants draw close. Despite the danger, there is beauty in Naira's world, a quiet strength in the resilience of life amidst chaos. Her hands heal not only flesh but spirit, calming the panic that can ripple through the tribe when shadows lengthen and thunder approaches. She teaches the young ones to recognize the plant's gifts, passing down knowledge that ensures the tribe's future. In her presence, pain becomes a challenge to be met, not a sentence to despair. As the day wears on, Naira's efforts become a beacon of hope. Wounded warriors return, carrying tales of narrow escapes and fierce battles. She welcomes each one with calm determination, tending to their injuries with patience and care. Her touch is steady, her voice soothing, weaving a thread of comfort through the chaos. The plants respond to her call, their healing properties magnified by her unwavering belief in life's persistence. Even as darkness threatens to reclaim the land, Naira's garden remains a haven, a place where the tribe's battered bodies and spirits can find restoration. Her work is a testament to the power of knowledge and compassion in a world ruled by ancient giants. The hidden survivors depend on her as much as on the hunters and warriors who face the beasts. Without her, their resilience would falter, their hope dim. In this moment, Naira stands as a guardian of life, bridging the wild forces around them with the fragile humanity they strive to protect. Her hands tell stories of survival written not with weapons but with care, a quiet defiance against the relentless dangers lurking beyond the village. As she tends the last wound of the day, her eyes reflect a fierce determination, the will to nurture, to heal, and to ensure that the tribe endures through every storm. Picture yourself beside Naira in this garden of ancient secrets, feeling the pulse of life beneath your fingertips and the weight of responsibility in each breath. Reflect on the delicate balance that sustains all living things and the quiet heroes who hold it together. If this tale stirs your spirit, subscribe to journey further into the hidden survivor's world. Share where you dream of walking in this primeval land and what strength you would offer to protect a fragile tribe among giants. The story continues, with life's enduring touch guiding the way forward. The night sky over the hidden survivors shimmers with a tapestry of stars, each one a distant flame flickering in the vast darkness. Beneath this celestial vault, Eirik sits cross-legged by the ancient sacred tree, his eyes closed as whispers of the unseen world swirl around him. His breath is steady, the rhythm of his heartbeat mingling with the pulse of the earth. In this quiet communion, he drifts between waking and dreaming, slipping into a realm where past, present, and future intertwine. Here, visions arise, not as mere images, but as urgent messages from the depths of time and spirit. Eirik's role within the tribe transcends ordinary sight. He is the dream seer, a conduit for knowledge beyond the physical realm. His insights have guided the hidden survivors through countless trials, warning of dangers before they arrive and revealing paths to safety amidst the wilderness. Tonight, the weight of his visions presses heavily upon him, the shadows within darker, the signs more troubling. He knows this moment is a turning point, a harbinger of a storm that threatens to engulf the village and change their fate forever. The vision begins with a low, distant roar that vibrates through the soil. Massive shapes emerge from the mists, dinosaurs moving with terrifying purpose, their numbers vast as they sweep through the jungle like a tidal wave of ancient fury. Eirik sees the faces of his people etched with fear and determination, moments of struggle and unity flashing in rapid succession. He senses the urgency, the fragile thread upon which their survival now hangs. The storm is not just of nature, but of forces unseen, tribal tensions, shifting alliances, and the restless spirit of the forest itself. Opening his eyes, Eirik feels the cool night air brush his skin. His gaze is clear and sharp, filled with resolve born from the knowledge he carries. Rising, he moves silently back toward the village, each step purposeful. The tribe depends on his warnings, his ability to translate the language of dreams into action. Gathering the elders and the warriors, he recounts the visions with solemn clarity. There is no room for doubt or hesitation. The time for preparation has come. As the tribe listens, Eirik describes the patterns he has seen, the movements of the dinosaur herds, the signs in the wind, and the subtle shifts in animal behavior. He speaks of the need for vigilance, of reinforcing the village defenses, and of deepening the bonds between each member. His words carry the weight of prophecy and the call to unity. In these moments, the tribe's heartbeat synchronizes with his vision, a collective breath held in anticipation of the trials ahead. The dream seer's message is not only a warning, but also a guide. He reveals ancient rites to strengthen their spirits, rituals to honor the forest spirits, and meditations to sharpen the senses. Eirik teaches the younger members how to listen to the whispers of the trees, and to interpret the subtle signs left by the dinosaur's passage. His knowledge bridges the seen and unseen worlds, empowering the tribe to face the coming storm with courage rooted in understanding. Amid preparations, Eirik seeks solitude beneath the towering canopy once more, seeking deeper insight. His mind journeys through layers of time, touching moments before the first great upheaval. He perceives the delicate interplay of survival and sacrifice, the choices that will define their legacy. The vision unfolds with clarity, a dance of light and shadow where each action reverberates across generations. Eirik knows that this night's council will echo long after the storm has passed. The village stirs with a quiet energy, a blend of tension and hope. Torin fortifies the barriers, his strength unwavering. Lyra rekindles the fires with renewed vigor, flames licking the darkness to keep threats at bay. Naira prepares her remedies, hands steady despite the looming uncertainty. Kale sharpens his senses, ready to track and hunt as needed. Together, they form the living shield around the hidden survivors, each fulfilling their role with fierce devotion inspired by Eirik's vision. As dawn breaks, the horizon glows with a faint, unsettling light. The storm approaches not only in thunder and shadow, but in the shifting tides of fate. The tribe stands on the brink, their unity and resilience tested by the vast forces of the world around them. Irik's final warning hangs in the air, a reminder that survival is not merely a matter of strength or cunning, but of listening to the voices beyond the ordinary, embracing the unknown with open hearts. Imagine yourself here, among the ancient trees, feeling the weight of history and the breath of destiny. Consider the power of visions that guide not only the steps of a tribe, but the very course of their existence. Reflect on the quiet strength found in knowing and preparing for what lies ahead, even when the path is shrouded in mystery. If this journey into the mind of the dream seer moves you, subscribe to continue unraveling the saga of the hidden survivors. Share from where you watch and what lessons you draw from the whispers of time. Together, we walk the edge of worlds, where courage and wisdom meet in the face of the silent, looming storm.